What is up, my friends? So, The Devil All the Time, with a huge cast like this, Netflix is really showing Hollywood, like, what's up? I'm here and we're here to stay. All the streaming services, right? And that's a good thing. I do think that Hollywood needed this, and whatever that means for the future is just like, if that's bad for Hollywood, that's on Hollywood for giving shit all the time. And I'm not excusing Netflix or anything, saying that Netflix is always giving us gems, because they do have some crap that is on there that definitely is just like, okay, Netflix, what the fuck are you doing today, right? But no, let's talk about this movie that stars Bill Skarsgård, Haley Bennett, Riley Gu, Jason Clarke, Sebastian Stan, Mia Wasikowska, I always butcher that name, Robert Pattinson, and of course, everybody's favorite Spider-Man himself, Tom Holland. And this film is basically a Southern Gothic. I don't know why I try to do a Southern accent right there, and it kind of comes off whenever I say Southern. But this basically is one of those movies that just makes you feel dirty inside after you watch it. And that's because you really start to think about these thoughts that are presented throughout the film about your faith, especially, and also about how far one goes to try and prove something, and if everything is just chance or if there is some divine path that we're all on, And everything else in the movie that happens as well is the imagery and all of that, what makes you feel dirty inside. So this film deals with many different lives interconnecting, and pretty much just all of it ending up being shit. And I did enjoy the fact that the film asked that question, like, does everything that we see in the film happen by mere coincidence, or if things had gone another way, would they have developed into something else? And I just realized I butchered coincidence earlier, so my bad on that one. But pretty much by the end of the film, what we see is the character of Tom Holland, Arvin, just feeling like all of us, like, what the fuck just happened, right? Like, everything that just happened right now, is that all that was pretty much going to be our life right there? And so we see characters meet up with characters they might have not met up during the film, and end up going on a bad path, of course. And so one of the most horrible characters in this movie is Robert Pattinson, who just plays it to a T. Robert Pattinson plays a character known as Reverend Preston Teagarden, and he is pretty much somebody who is a fucking asshole, because he preaches and tells all these people to be off with sin and stay away from all of this, but he pretty much is the devil himself. And this is pretty much, you can say that the title goes with everybody involved, that the devil is here all the time, and they're dealing with all of that as well. He ends up getting with this one girl, and pretty much just sort of like, since she is young and impressionable, manipulates her. She ends up becoming pregnant, and she tells the Reverend this, and he's like, I'm not the father, and he tells her to get rid of it. And what ends up happening is she takes her own life, and this pretty much sets Arvin like on a rage, because Arvin, from a young age, his father Bill Skarsgård, who is in this movie, pretty much just sort of like warped his mind on things, how everything worked, because his mother actually had cancer, and his father was very much so praying, and it got to a point when it became fanatic and almost delusional, at a point how much they were needing to pray, and it ended up even with his own father killing their dog in order to show to the Lord and all of this. And so this pretty much messed up Arvin about how he feels about everything going on. And so years later on, we see him now seeing what happened to Lenora, decides that, you know what, I'm not going to stand by this. And Arvin shoots him and then goes on the run. So Arvin kills the Reverend right there. And so the other characters that we see that met by chance as well, Carl and Sandy, end up picking him up as he is hitchhiking. But what ends up happening before this all is that we find out Carl and Sandy are killing. So this is pretty much, Arvin is just like, this doesn't feel right, but he ends up coming on top and kills them. We end up seeing Arvin just pretty much just be at the end of it all, and just be like, you know what, I'm just going to put an end to all of this. I'm going to take my dog's bones and I'm going to give them a proper burial. And this is pretty much him just putting everything away. Now the sheriff shows up and he learns that his sister and brother-in-law have been killed by Arvin. And the fucked up thing about it all is that the sheriff had an idea about what was going on with his sister and brother-in-law, that they were committing these crimes, but it was pretty much like, I don't want to deal with that. That's my sister, and I'm also trying to stay where I am and get to a higher point of power. So if I don't deal with that, yeah, it'll be fine. So he ends up confronting Arvin, and Arvin shoots him and then slips a Polaroid of Roy's dead body onto the sheriff, trying to tie everything together so that he can pretty much come off squeaky clean. Arvin eventually is picked up by a hippie driver, and he goes out to Cincinnati in the hope to start his life for the first time. And this is pretty much going to be a thing where all of these people, you can argue when you rewatch the movie, if certain things played out a little bit differently, would they have ended up crossing these paths that they crossed and then ended up with a bloodbath and everything. Because you could even go back to say that Bill Skarsgård's character was supposed to marry somebody else according to his mother. So would that have led to Arvin and all of this going down and him becoming a fanatic and then pretty much messing up his own child over time? And then there are parts where he was supposed to maybe be the one who met Sandy. And, you know, it just pretty much tells you, and I think the director even brushed up upon this, is that is everything by chance happening, or were these characters always going to be destined to go down this path because of the way things are laid out, and it's a bigger and divine thing that's going on? So we can be rest assured that there is definitely more to come from this. I don't think Arvin is out of the woods yet. As you know, the Vietnam War and everything that was going on at the time. So is he destined to become his father in a sense, as he goes off to this war to fight in and then come back even more messed up than he already went into it? And pretty much what happened to his father, as they talk about the soldier that he saw get skinned and crucified in the beginning of the film. So Arvin is pretty much destined to follow this same path. And is this meaning when he comes back from the war, if he even comes back from the war, does he set up a new chain of events that will connect people and just lead to a history of violence? And that's pretty much what the characters and the director are pretty much saying, I feel, is that there is a chain of event that kicks off things, and then it's just like dynamite. Like, it's going to blow, you can't stop it, and it's just going to happen. And I think that's exactly what they're trying to say, that the devil is there all the time. But hey, I might have gone on something crazy right there. So let me know your thoughts on it below. What do you think of the ending? Do you think that there is hope? And what are you hoping to see? Anyways, as always, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share. On the road to 20,000 subscribers, about to hit 16,000, so super pumped for that. Let me know your thoughts on the ending. And it's a pretty good week for Netflix because we have that new Sarah Paulson show coming this weekend, so I'll definitely be checking that out. Make sure you check out my other video on my blog if you love all the shows on Netflix. And as always, that's gonna do it for me. I'll see you all the time. See, I'm saying I'll see you all the time. That just made me laugh, probably not you. But anyways, make sure you follow me on social media at Twitter at NerdRound. Nerdround.com is my website. Anchor is my podcast thing where I put all of these videos in audio format for you to check out. And I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive. Hey, still listening? Why don't you go ahead and check out the video on the left. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share. I'll see you next time. Stay positive.